Good morning, everyone. Hope everybody had a nice weekend. I got to spend most of the weekend with some of my grandchildren, not all of them. I had my oldest grandson for Friday night and Saturday, and then I got to spend the day Sunday with my middle two. So that was nice. I'm gonna just pop on here and get some people invited real quick. Just a couple of reminders. Just a reminder that I am still doing the giveaway. So you can enter to win that. To enter that, you do have to post a picture of your natal chart. I've only got, I think, 2 people so far that have done it. So again, I really just want you to encourage you to get that natal chart, because it's really going to help make more sense, help what I'm talking about make more sense to you, because I can tell you all about the different signs, but if you don't know what your signs are or what place they're in, it's not really going to help you any. And I apologize, I have been sick again this weekend. Came down with a cough and a sore throat and a runny nose. But yeah, so a lot of people I think will look in there like, what does astrology matter and stuff? I tell you, since I have been learning about my chart and so many things, when I read it, I'm like, yeah, that's exactly me. That's exactly what I do, or that's exactly how I act, or and so just makes a lot of sense. And then you can kind of figure out maybe what you need to do for the things that are not some of our better qualities. We can figure out ways to, better handle that, better react, things that we can do, maybe meditation, crystals, or I think just being aware, just having the knowledge makes a big difference as well. So I really, really just want you guys to get your charts and be able to make more sense of it. I know a couple people have got their charts and they're just like, I really don't understand this. And a lot of people like, I don't understand this. And the thing is I haven't really got into the charts too much because there isn't too many of you who have got your charts done. So I feel like it's kind of hard for me to go on when people don't have their charts done, but maybe that's what I'll have to do. And then if they get their charts done, they'll have to just go back. Looks like my lipstick has got a big glob right there, but they'll have to go back and watch the videos later or something. But we've had plenty of things to talk about, so there's not a lack of things to talk about. But yeah, so we're going to start with, we're going to light our candle. Maybe we're going to light our candle. There it goes. And I apologize in advance for sniffling, sneezing, or coughing today. We're going to do a little bit of a quick sage, maybe. Nothing wants to burn today. That's right. My fire signs will kick in and get this thing going. There we go. Little determination. So I'm going to just let that go for a second. Smudging my hands. A lot of energy comes in and out that way. I just dropped a big glob of sage on my notebook. Hopefully that's not going to burn. And usually I burn my cell phone, sage my cell phone, but I left it over there, so we will just skip that for today, but we'll let that go for a little bit. I'm just going to dump that back into the tray there. All right. So before we get started, the next thing we're going to do is pull a new card. So I did want to let you guys know, last Tuesday we pulled the Mangano calcite, and I told you it was orange, and I did a little bit of research on it, and it is pink. It is definitely pink. I thought maybe the lighting was just weird because I have kind of a orangey weird light, so I thought the lighting was weird and then it was orange, but it is definitely pink. So, but that's why I like doing these, because then, you know, I'm learning too, because I definitely don't know every single stone out there. I don't think there's probably anybody out there that does know every single stone out there. So we're going to put this one back in the deck, and we're going to pull. And again, as always, I'm not pulling for any particular person, just pulling in general, just so we can have some education and learn. All right. I think we might have pulled this one before, but we'll go with it. It's the one that seemed to want to come out of the deck, so. And like I said, if there's one that's jumping out of the deck, then that's the one. So that is Tiger's Eye. And it is stability, discernment, and strength. It is good for your solar plexus and your root chakra. Tiger's Eye activates the working of the mind in profound ways. While protecting you and imbuing you with ancient, deep wisdom, you have pulled this card because you seek balance, mental clarity, and empowerment in your decision-making. Meditate with Tiger's Eye to weigh both sides of the situation, gain insight from guides, and come to fair and informed conclusions. All right. I apologize. My nose is going to drive me crazy here. So I had these pulled for part of our discussion later, but there is a Tiger's Eye. You can kind of see it compared to the picture. So the pictures are pretty accurate. I mean, you can hold that in there and kind of not even know which one is the picture and which one is the stone. So those are pretty accurate. I will take a picture of this and get it posted. I'm going to ask you to hold for 20 seconds. I am going to run down the hallway and get some tissue. I should have done that. Sorry. Just a brief intermission during our broadcast today. Sorry, first thing I saw was a roll of toilet paper, so I grabbed it. I am slowly getting things together here. I finally, after 3 different adapters, got an adapter to plug directly into the internet. So hopefully that's going to make our connections a little better. Now that I have that connection, I can call the internet company and do some testing to make sure that our internet is running at the speeds it's supposed to and get that fixed. I have my father-in-law making me a new table, which I think is supposed to be done for this weekend. So then I can get the rest of that setup done. And then I'm going to try to work on some lighting, because I don't like that the lighting glares off my glasses, but I don't like that the lighting kind of makes a orangey-ish hue. And sometimes I think you guys don't really get the colors of the crystals and stuff. For me, I don't care. I can look orangey, but sometimes I really want to just show you the crystals, and the coloring is a little hard on that. But all right. So this morning we're going to talk about Ostara. I apologize. I almost didn't go live this morning because I didn't want to cough and sneeze through everything. But I really wanted to talk about Ostara. All right, so Ostara is spring, basically. So Ostara is she's a German goddess, and she goes by a couple of different names. Um, so she goes also by Lady of the Dawn. I'm not sure where that name came from, but that is one of her names. And I'm trying to, basically, this is where Easter came from. And I know some of my Catholic friends out there are going to go, what? But yeah, it's where Easter came from. And I can tell you honestly, after researching and learning more about paganism, almost every Catholic holiday came from a pagan holiday. I know you guys don't like to hear that. But and I'm not saying don't celebrate your holidays. That's not what I'm saying. If that's what you believe and that's what you want to celebrate, that's perfectly fine. I'm not going to judge anybody for it. I celebrate Yule and Christmas, so I celebrate Ostara and I celebrate Easter. To me, they're like one and the same, but I'd celebrate both. Again, because they're the one and the same. But anyhow, we won't get into a debate about that. So Ostara is, as we talked about, winter. So winter is a season of rest and retreat, a time to gather ourselves back, gather our energy, and get ready. Back then, the pagans couldn't, or not even just the pagans, any religion, any farmer, any whatever. Back then, you couldn't do anything in the winter. You couldn't plant anything in the winter. You couldn't grow anything in the winter. So you just took that time to stay inside, stay warm, rest, and get ready for the next harvest. So now it's getting time for preparing for that next harvest. So spring is a time of renewal and rebirth. And that happens, again, back then they didn't have calendars. They didn't mark off the calendar. They didn't have a cell phone to tell them it was daylight savings time. So they had to go by the sun. And so this is a time of year when the days are longer and the sun is warmer. So that's how they knew that it was time to celebrate Ostara. Spring is a time, and I kind of get into the science a little bit of it. So spring and fall are the two times of the year that the sun crosses the equator. So that's when day and night are the equal lengths. For this year, it will be tomorrow. Now, why daylight savings time doesn't coincide with that, I don't know. I don't know who made up that rule. I think daylight savings time is stupid. I think we should just do away with it. Pick a time, and that's the time it is. But my opinion. And the people that make those big decisions in the government and things don't really ask my opinion, so it doesn't really count for much as far as that goes. All right, so Ostara, like I said, is a German goddess. Just a quick short history here. My belief is that Germany, as well as England, and people won't like this either, was populated by Ireland, Scotland, the Norsemen, all those people. So I believe a lot of people are going to say, we came from Jerusalem. Other people will tell you we came from Atlantis. Some people believe we came from aliens, which is kind of what the whole Egyptian thing is based on, is aliens. But I believe that most every place on the earth was populated by Ireland. And I could be wrong. I probably am wrong, but that's what I'm going with. Okay. Sorry. All right. So, and so we're going to talk about sorry. It's so gross that I'm blowing my nose on TV here, on the camera here, but it's either that or it's going to run down my face, and I don't think you guys want to see that either. So, a simple way to celebrate Ostara, or to honor Ostara. So whether you're going by the goddess or you're going by the holiday, either or, they're both called Ostara. A simple way is just to light a candle. So that candle's representing the light coming back. So that's just a really simple one. So the rest of the conversation, I'm going to kind of talk about things you could do for an Ostara, or if you want to call it an Easter, that's perfectly fine with me. I don't care. Like I said, you do you, however you want to do you. I'm here to teach and educate and give you some advice. And if you choose to take it, great. If you don't, that's fine. If you decide to take it and make it your own, that's fine too. So basically what I'm going to talk about next is 5 things that you could use to make your altar. If you don't like the word altar, you can put it on your kitchen table and call it a centerpiece. You can put it on your TV stand and just say it's decoration. So I think a lot of people freak out with the word altar. The altar is not like what TV depicts an altar, like sacrifice and, voodoo dolls and skulls and all that stuff. Although I do have some skulls on my altar, but it is not to worship anything evil. It's to honor my ancestors. So there's a little bit of a difference the way TV and Hollywood portray altars. An altar is not a bad thing. My workspace here, in a sense, is an altar. I have my candles, I have my sage, I have my crystals, I have things that are important to me here. All my tools are here. So in a sense, my workspace is kind of an altar. My shelf that I had put right above the laptop, which you can't see, has all my crystals, my singing bowl, candles, symbols of things that I like. There's, a crow, there's the skull, there's my new moon intention jar up there. My love jar is up there. So everything is right there, which I like, which if I wanted to show you something, it would be very easy for me to grab it and show you. But anyway, if you don't like the word altar, you can simply just call it a decoration or a centerpiece or whatever you wish to call it. So one of the first things that you can incorporate into, and again, I'm going to use the word altar, but you don't have to call it that if you don't want to. One of the first things is a birch tree. Now, most people don't have a birch tree in their house. I do. It's right behind me. If you can see that right there, there's a birch tree that goes from the floor to the ceiling. But if in this case, you may want to just go outside and get a branch. Maybe you can tie them together and with a ribbon or something and make them a little bit more decorative, or put them in a vase, kind of like a flower with the branches. The reason for the birch tree is one of the very first trees that will start to bud. So if you go out to get a birch tree, you'll probably see that they've got little buds on them. And that is why the birch tree is one of the things that is a big symbol for Ostara. It also is known as the White Lady of the Woods. Um, Back then they loved to name things other than their actual names. So the birch tree is also known as the White Lady of the Woods, which is a little odd because um, trees are typically considered masculine. So why the white birch is considered a lady, I don't really know, but trees are typically masculine. Um, it is a symbol of love and fertility. And so you may have seen, again, this is where dancing around the maypole kind of comes in, because back then they used to dance around the birch trees. And now that's more celebrated. You guys call it May Day, and on the wheel of the year, it's Beltane. And when we get closer to that, we'll talk about that. But that's where that came from. So simply just, like I said, some twigs. Even if you wanted to put some bark, if you got a birch tree that like is the bark is peeling off it, you know how it kind of curls up and stuff, makes like these little ribbony looking things. If you wanted to take some of those and place them maybe around on the table or your altar, that would be nice. Or if you don't want to do any of that, you can simply just go get some birch essential oils and use it that way. I suppose you could get a birch candle. I don't know if there's a whole lot of birch candles out there, but you might find one. There is a really neat company I found on Instagram who does really neat scented candles. I don't get anything for telling you that. I don't work for them. I don't advertise for them or anything, but I will, morning Jen, I will see if I can put their link to their Instagram, because they do a lot of really different candles. So if there's something that you're interested in that, I can put that up. So the birch tree was number 1 for your Ostara altar. Number 2 is eggs. So eggs are a representative of fertility. And so way before the Easter Bunny and bringing Easter eggs, eggs were a symbol that they used to celebrate Ostara. Eggs, along with any kind of seeds or acorns, anything like that, anything that would potentially start life. So even pine cones and acorns, seeds, anything like that, you can use for your space. I like to use apple seeds a lot of times, just because I have an apple and I eat it, and then I pull the seeds out before I throw the core away, and so it doesn't cost me anything extra to get those seeds. So that's an easy way, if you don't want to go out and buy seeds, or if you don't want to go outside to find acorns or things like that, you can certainly just, if you've got an apple, before you throw it away, the core away, just pull out the seeds. So that's a really easy way to incorporate seeds into your space. So like I said, eggs are a symbolizing fertility and the renewing cycle of life, which is what spring is. So it's just a big cycle that we go around. So the next thing that you can use on your space is, no, last year I didn't see many acorns either, but we have pine cones. I could build the whole entire castle out of pine cones, like a life-size castle out of pine cones from what's in my yard. So if anybody wants some pine cones, let me know. I'll send you some pine cones. We have buckets of it. We use them to throw in our fire to start our bonfires. So number 3 is gemstones. So one of the first ones that I would recommend is citrine. And so citrine to me just kind of, it's an orangey, yellowy stone, and it kind of looks like, you know, a sun ray, rays of the sun. So, you know, if you had some of these, you could certainly, I was going to see if you could see it with the light a little, how it would kind of make different colors here. But again, lighting is on my list of things to work on. So citrine is a good one. If you had some citrine, you could place it around. You know, if you had, like I said, if you did the vase with some birch branches in it, and then you could put some eggs around it, or maybe a bowl with the candle sitting inside with eggs, or and then the gemstones in there. I mean, get crafty, do whatever you really want to do. You know, make it your own. But citrine promotes growth, so that is one of the things that you would be looking for at springtime, is the growth. So it does kind of shine. It is like a visual for the sun's rays. I'm just trying to kind of move it around so you can kind of see it a little bit. Do I have a sun lamp? No, I don't have a sun lamp. It's just a cheap lamp I got at like Family Dollar or something, and I thought it would be nice to shine it down so I could see my stuff, but it makes the glare on my glasses, which I don't really like. But like I said, it does give everything kind of an orangey hue, which is more the light bulb, but it's on the list to work on. All right, so number 4 is bright colors. So there are lots of different ways you can bring in bright colors. The number 1 way to bring in bright colors is they painted the eggs. Typically they painted them red because red was kind of passion, which passion kind of leads to fertility. But you could certainly, Easter eggs or Ostara eggs are all different colors, different shapes are on them, different designs, swirls, dots, anything like that. But that is where the colors came in, because you're going to want to bring in colors of the springtime. Again, you probably can't see it, but I have a very large vase over here by my door that is full, right there, that is full of, they're fake, but there are pinks and yellows and blues and purples, all in that vase. And so I sit right over here, so at nighttime I can see that with that nice big flowers, and there's big flowers in there. So that's one of the ways I bring in some of the bright colors. I also have my little bunny rabbit here, which is the next one we're going to talk about. Actually, I'm skipping, sorry. So bright color, I'm going to go back to bright colors for a second, because there was more I wanted to talk about bright colors. So some of the stones, if you wanted to, what, the bunny? Or the flowers, Jennifer? There's my bunny. My little bunny that I have out for my rabbit. But we'll get back to him in a second. So some of the stones, if you have a lot of stones, if you don't, that's fine. You can do anything. Get jelly beans and make a vase of you know, jelly beans to bring in color. Go to the dollar store and get a bag of dollar jelly beans if you want to just bring in some color. Like I said, a really nice thing is just get a clear glass bowl and put the jelly beans in, and then get another clear container holder and put your candle in there. Or you could put your birch in there. There's like lots of things you could do that are really simple that you don't need to go out and spend tons and tons of money on. I get a lot of my stuff at the dollar store. The bowls that I use, like I have a bowl, each one of these for my class is my herbs. I have a bowl that each month is in. I get those at the dollar store. You know, I got a little plate here that my candle and my oil sit on, so my oils don't get on my altar mat. Got it at the dollar store. So you don't have to go out and spend a ton of money on stuff. So like I said, just get a clear bowl and some jelly beans and put that out. And there is part of your Ostara celebration is having some jelly beans out. And they're yummy too. You might have to refill it. But you could work with some gemstones as well. So some of the ones telling me it's time to go to work, so I got to finish up. Some of the ones that you could work on with, and I did pull a few here. One was the tiger's eye. So that's a nice way to pull in some color. I also pulled a red one. I do have a blue one, but I couldn't find it. So the red one, you see it has a nice little red line right there. You can use some, and I'm trying to learn how to say all these, rhodochrosite, there's no N in it, sorry. That's a nice pink. And if you're like me, I always think this looks like a piece of ham. But it is a very pretty pink. It's very glittery. I'm trying to catch it in the light so you can kind of see the glitter. See some of the glitter in it? So there's one you could use. This one is called ametrine, and it's kind of hard to see, but it is amethyst and citrine. So it's got the purple, but it's got kind of the yellowy orange in it too, and it's not picking it up. Sorry. You could work with green aventurine. So that's pretty. Kind of making your like own little bowl of jelly beans here. This is an amethyst. It's a light one, but you could work with amethyst in there. I had a rose quartz here, but I don't know where it went. Oh, right here. I'll show you this one. This one I would not put in the bowl just because I don't want it to break. But you could work with some rose quartz. These points are very pointy, and I don't want to chip them, so I wouldn't put them in a bowl unless you did the bowl and just set it like on the top maybe as a middle piece. So you could work with some rose quartz, or the last one I have here is carnelian. You could work with that, and it's kind of a reddish color. And typically, I know most people don't associate red with the Easter colors because most people consider the Easter colors kind of a pastel-y color. But red is typically what they did paint the eggs. I haven't done the rattle yet. I'm going to do the rattle next week. So if you haven't got your natal chart, a picture of your natal chart up on the post, get that up there. I wrote down what day I was going to do it. Let me check my notes here, Jennifer. Going to do it on the 28th. So you have not quite 2 weeks. I wanted to give people plenty of time to, if they didn't have their birth time, to, reach out, contact the town office where they were born, and get that information. So I wanted to give everybody a good time period to get that done. But I am trying to remind everybody in each video that we do to not forget to do it. The rattle is, that one's mine. I'll show it real quick, but then I'd have to finish up so I can get going. So this is the rattle. And I've put together a nice little bundle of, I don't know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or 6 perfumes in there. That's going to go with it. And I'm going to pick a gemstone that's going to probably go with it too. I haven't picked one yet, but that's going to come to whoever gets picked for having their natal chart up there. Jen, it's okay to hope that you win and not feel greedy. I enter contests all the time and hope that I win, and am disappointed when I don't. And I know I can't win all of them, but I'd like to win at least one or two of them. So those are some of the gemstones you can work with if you wanted to. And again, you could just get a little plate or a little bowl and put them in there. You could get, like I have here, it's a candle plate. You could put the candle in the middle and just put the gemstones around. You could mix the gemstones with the jelly beans. Just don't mix them up if you're going to be eating them. All right, so the last thing before I have to go here is the rabbit. Now, everybody knows about the Easter Bunny, but most people don't know where the Easter Bunny came from. This is why I saved this guy for last. Sorry, I got to get that out of my way. So, here's our little Mr. Bunny. So rabbit is sacred to Ostara. It's a symbol of prosperity, growth, luck, and new beginnings. It teaches us to face our fears in order to grow. And we've all heard, the saying, multiply like rabbits, which is very true. Rabbits are very, very fertile. That is why they are part of Ostara, is because that is where we're working on that fertility, and rabbits are about the most fertile animal you're going to ever come across. Not only do rabbits have very large litters, they are the only animal known to me, and probably known to most, that can actually conceive while they're pregnant. Crazy. Why would you want to? But that does make them about the most fertile and most reproductive animal there is. So that is why the rabbit is a big symbol of spring and fertility. So the little story goes that Ostara had a bird. She had a messenger bird. And that she didn't feel that her messenger bird was very well equipped to deal with fertility and the land and things of that sort in the climate. So she changed her messenger bird into a hare, like hare rabbit, not like hare. She changed it into a rabbit hare, and so now she has her rabbit, which is her symbol. But the rabbit, who used to be a bird, lays eggs in the spring. And that's where you get your rabbit and your eggs from that little story. So isn't that neat? So yeah, that's kind of where Easter comes from. That's where your Easter eggs come from, and that's where your bunny rabbit comes from. So yeah, and that's why we paint our Easter eggs. So I find it very interesting to learn all these things. And I don't learn these things to debunk or dishonor any other religion. And I just I like history. In high school, I hated history. History was like forbidden for me. I didn't want anything to do with history. And in the last 20 years, that's really all I want is history. I mean, my husband and I went on our honeymoon. We went to Williamsburg to learn history. So for some reason, something that I was totally not interested in high school has now become very, very interesting to me. And I like to learn all kinds of things. I like to learn things as much as I can learn. I like to know where things came from, how things started, why things started, who did this first. I don't know why. That's just the way I am. I wasn't like that in high school. But in high school, all I really wanted to do was drink and party. It's true. So again, I don't have time to go over the crystals that I wanted to go over with you, but they are still sitting here for me to go over with you. Thursday, we're going to talk a little bit more about some things we can celebrate Ostara with. Ostara on the calendar is tomorrow, but like most holidays, it's not really a day. Like on Christmas, you don't put all your decorations up on the 25th, celebrate it, and tear all your decorations down on the 25th. You have your decorations up for a long time. It's a whole season that you kind of celebrate. So Ostara is also that way. It is the season of spring. So if you don't have stuff to do tomorrow for all this stuff, like I said, you can certainly do it on Easter, or you can do it from now till Easter. There's no right or wrong way. I'm just giving you some things that you can do if you choose. Okay? So I have to go, so I'm not late for work. It's really cold outside, so I want to start my car. I think I have 3 degrees here. So I want to start my car for a minute and let it run before I go outside too. So again, Thursday we're going to talk about some more things we can do for Ostara. Then on the next Tuesday, we're going to talk about spirit animals of the East, which is spring. So we'll talk about that a little bit. And I haven't picked something yet on Thursday, but I still want to come back around to, we had a couple people who were interested in doing medicine bags, and I want to kind of come back around to some of the things that you may want to pick if you're going to do that. And then, like I said, then we'll pick a day, and I'll definitely let you know what day it is that we're going to make those. And so if you want to make them with me, that's fine. If you just want to watch the video later, that's fine too. But I'll let you know when it's going to be. So if there is anything you need to go out and purchase or things you need to gather around your house, you'll know what day to have that done for. And again, don't forget getting your natal chart and getting it up on the post so you can be entered in the giveaway for the rattle and the perfume and most likely a crystal. I haven't picked one yet. Usually it's one of those things like as soon as I see the crystal, I'm going to know which one it is. So it's here and amongst all this stuff somewhere. And it could be yours. So have a great day and remember to be kind. Yes, the post is in the group, Jen. You may have to scroll back a little bit. I'll go in and see if I can maybe bump it up to the top. Facebook used to let you pin posts, and you can't do that anymore, which I don't like. But if I could, I would have pinned it at the top. But yeah, it's in there. You'll have to probably scroll back a ways. So, all right. Remember to be kind. Your kindness could change your day and somebody else's. Lots of love. Thanks for joining.